Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, the 28th of April through May 4th. So another month down. You're going so damn fast. Anyway, thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Before I go on to this, I got to ask you guys, drop down in the comments if this happened to you or if you experienced anything. Let me know what it was. So the 24th was the day that Pluto went retrograde. And it was really like Osiris and Set were fighting. Like, I didn't have a bad day. And most people didn't have a bad day that I spoke to. But I got a couple people reached out to me that had like a weird day. And around 5 o'clock, close to 5 o'clock, not quite, because at 5 they would have been closed, but close to 5, I was in the post office and I was at the counter, like getting ready to pay or something. And all of a sudden, my bag, my purse, leapt off my neck and went flying. Well, let me show you which one I had, because it's nearby. So those of you who like know me at all know I kind of have like bag fetishes. I got a million bags, but I was wearing this little one. And you see the hook? You see this latch around this fairly thick piece of brass or whatever that is? It needs to be manipulated by hand. You got to pull this down in order to open it. Okay, so I wasn't pulling it down. Like I said, I was paying, but somehow it came off that thick piece of brass, which it shouldn't have just been able to slide off of, and went flying. And the clerk says, "Oh, is your bag broken?" And before I even picking it up, you know, like as I went to pick it up, I'm like, no, like I knew it wasn't broken. Although I'm not sure what I thought what had gone on with it at the time. She was like, "That's crazy." And I'm in my head, I'm like, yeah, it must be Osiris and Set. But of course I couldn't say anything. So I come home and one of my clients in London, she contacts me. "What the hell is going on today?" Like, she was in my messenger. And I said, well, it's, Pluto went retrograde in Capricorn. And, around 5 o'clock, this happened to me. And she's like, "Oh my God." Like at around 5 o'clock, her son had like taken some of her gemstones and thrown them out the window. I mean, like all kinds of crazy stuff went on with her too. She was like, "It was 5 o'clock here too when that happened." So just curious if anything went on with any others of you. All right. On that note, let's get into this week though, because we got new fun this week. Saturn itself, ruler of Capricorn, goes retrograde. But first, actually that is the first thing. It's the 29th. So this reading begins with the 28th, Sunday the 28th, and this is Monday the 29th at 8:54 p.m. Saturn enters retrograde. And then on the Hebrew calendar, there's nothing. They continue counting the Omer, which is like reciting the prayers. They're going to continue to do that the same way in the Christian churches. They continue to celebrate, Easter octaves, those who are considered Orthodox or super religious, they'll continue to practice it. Islamic calendar, nothing this week, but next week, next Sunday, Ramadan begins. So I mentioned that it started on May 6th and invited those who were interested to do the fasting with me, because at Ramadan you don't eat until after sundown. But I've mentioned in the past that on the Islamic calendar as well as the Hebrew calendar, a given holiday starts the day before at sundown. So yes, the first day of Ramadan is the 6th, May 6th. However, Ramadan begins officially on May 5th at sundown. So again, anybody wanting to practice that with me, let's do it. But that's next week. All right, so this week, we're going to briefly talk about one thing on the Christian calendar before I go into Saturn retrograde, and that is on Monday. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, this is also Monday, the 29th. Okay. It is the Feast of Divine Mercy. And I just went to www.wikipedia.com to let you guys know what the Feast of Divine Mercy is. It's also called Divine Mercy Sunday, and it's celebrated on the Sunday after Easter, the octave day of Easter. The feast day is observed by Roman Catholics as well as some Anglicans. It's originally based on the Catholic devotion to the Divine Mercy that Saint Faustina Kowalska reported as part of her encounter with Jesus, and is associated with the special promises from Jesus and the indulgences issued by the Church. The Feast of Divine Mercy, as recorded in the diary of Saint Faustina, receives from Jesus himself the biggest promises of grace related to the devotion of divine mercy. In specific, Jesus said that a person who goes to sacramental confession, in the parentheses they have that the confession may take place some days before, end quote, and, or in close parentheses rather, and receives Holy Communion on that day, they shall obtain the total forgiveness of all sins and punishment. That means each person would go immediately after death to heaven without suffering in purgatory. And in parentheses they have, or hell. Additionally, the Roman Catholic Church grants a plenary indulgence, and in parentheses it says, observing the usual rites, close, and rules, close parentheses, with recitation of some simple prayers. So that's that's the feast day rather of Divine Mercy, or Divine Mercy Sunday. And that's it as far as the, religious celebrations of any magnitude this week. So on that note, www.tarot.com, Saturn retrograde in Capricorn. So I'm feeling like deja vu. I don't know about you guys, but last year, 2018, both Pluto and Saturn also went retrograde in Capricorn. So I'm like, ugh, not again. Yeah, again, Pluto went retrograde last week in Capricorn. And now here we go. April 29th, Monday, April 29th, Saturn 2 goes retrograde in Capricorn. Saturn is turning retrograde, moving backward through its home sign of Capricorn from April 29th through September 18th, 2019. This planet of order's retrograde period is a time to cultivate discipline, patience, and self-restraint. When faster moving planets like Mercury or Mars go retrograde, confusion typically reigns, but that's not necessarily so with slower moving planets. Saturn retrograde may actually help us to see things clearer by shifting our focus from the external to the internal, which may even empower us to move forward. Saturn's role in our world. Strict Saturn is infamous for keeping other planets and zodiac signs in check, and in this way, it helps to remind us all of our limitations. As the karma planet, they have in quotes, as far as I'm concerned, Jupiter is the karma planet because it's the planet of luck, and I don't believe in luck, but they're calling Saturn the karma planet here. Saturn tells us what we are and are not allowed to do, and what society expects from us. When strict Saturn is direct, it can be a bit of a buzzkill. But in retrograde, Saturn gives us an opportunity to look over our personal set of rules. We have the chance to see what kind of internal and emotional factors motivate us, including fear. Saturn in reverse means that the external boundaries we live within take a back seat to our rich inner world. We'll trust ourselves enough to question these boundaries, and because retrograde with any planet is a prime time to look back on our personal paths, we can examine failures and letdowns, learn from them, apply these lessons to how we'll conduct ourselves in the future, and then move on. What goes up must come down. When Saturn goes retrograde again on September 18th, when Saturn goes direct again on September 18th, we'll stop feeling quite so free to play with our personal processes. Until then, self-awareness can be very healing and will ultimately make us more productive as a whole. Before Saturn goes retrograde on April 29th, consider what you're allowing to hold you back so that you can work on it over the next couple of months. You have Saturn's permission. So that's kind of interesting because we're in Taurus right now, which of course is an earth sign too. The sun is in Taurus. The moon enters Taurus on the 6th, same day the Ramadan begins. And September 18th will be in Virgo. And this is Saturn in Capricorn. It's like all earth, So that should be, pretty interesting. We'll see how it all turns out. But I can get to the cards and the dice and stuff already. Beginning with yes. Dirty movie. And spend money. Spirit says email. Still spend money. Maybe get your Avengers tickets or something. If you don't usually go to the movies, go out, you know, have a good time, nurture yourself, whatever. Spend some money. And weekend away. Beautiful cards I'm going to use and begin with this week. The Ace of Water. Ooh, I don't like what's behind it, but the Ace of Water with the Angel Tarot. Falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. I don't know why the 7 of Air is behind it, but we'll talk about that maybe in a minute. The 9 of Summer from the Animal Tarot. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. Twin Flame with the Ascended Masters also upright behind it. From the Angel Therapy cards, the answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. And from my Life Purpose cards, haven't used these in forever. I was like moved to pull them out before I started this reading with not only this reading in mind, but I have a reading to do for a young lady who she's really open, I'm going to say right now. It's awesome to watch. So I have a reading to do for her. She's an Aquarius. And we have a lot in common because I'm a Gemini, but I have like 4 planets in Gemini or, celestial placements and like 4 in Aquarius, including my moon. There's an Aquarius moon today, by the way, the day on which I'm doing this reading, which is Friday, the 26th. So, we have a lot in common, and I guess she would be like a little sister type, but I just felt like I need to look into helping her figure out what her purpose is. So I wanted to take these cards out to do her reading also. And so here they are. And ironically, I'm going to begin with freedom. You're free to do what you choose. And I say ironically because freedom is what Aquarius is all about. On that note, let's get to it. And starting with the Ace of Water and opening to the 7 of Water. Okay, that's even more interesting now because remember the 7 of Swords essentially is behind this Ace. Ace of Water. And Major Arcana card 17, the Star with Archangel Jophiel. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. Now I'm thinking about all the 7s I did see today, actually. A lot of like 777 and stuff. I had forgotten about that. Ace of Water. And Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer with Archangel Metatron. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, because that leads to unexpected opportunities. In this particular deck, it always has, I guess it always will, I associate this card with the planet Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. And so it represents those two for me. Ace of Water. The 9 of Air, speaking of Gemini, expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecy, sleepless nights. Whoa. Something just leapt off this table. I think you guys probably heard it. I don't know what it was. I heard something too. Ace of Water. I'll do one more. It is Major Arcana card 13, release with Archangel Azrael. The end of a phase or situation. Spiritual transformation. It is time to move on. Major Arcana card 13, release or death in the traditional tarot, represents the sign of Scorpio. Which, goes quite well with the Ace of Water, of course. Ace of Water. So like death is like the ending, and then the Ace of Water is like the fresh beginning that the ending brings about. And maybe it'll be something celebratory, or it'll be reason for a cause for us to celebrate. A celebration, wedding, or graduation, or birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. This can also be about being more social and or reuniting with old friends and or loved ones, lovers even. The overall energy is the Eight of Water, a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful in spiritual and emotional growth. I have to tell you guys what happened though. So every time after I cut, I shuffle the cards in my hand a little bit more. My daughter usually cuts that piece out for me, because it's like dead air or wasting time. But I pray as I do it. And this time, I had gotten up to like in the name of the Father, the Mother, the Father, the Son. And I opened my eyes because my eyes are closed this whole time too. I opened my eyes and it was indeed the Sun card in the tarot that was the one faced up when I said, like, when I got to in the name of the Sun. It was there. So I said, I got to share that. So that's card number 19. Maybe it'll come back up for us. It represents the sign of Sagittarius or perhaps another fire sign, Leo, Aries. Could be significant for somebody. But the Ace of Water. Let's talk about the Ace of Water. So in most situations, circumstances, the Ace of Water means that you might feel like it's time for something to come to an end. And if you're feeling it in a way that's like your gut is telling you, as opposed to like just your head and your intuition, like you're unsettled, whether it's a job, a friendship, a romantic relationship, even a long-term one, you're feeling like it's probably time for it to be done. The likelihood when this card comes up is that you're going to be the one to, end things or whatever, to bring it to a close. It's like you acknowledge that in order for a new door to open, like the Ace of Water that we just saw, one has to close first. As it relates to health and stuff, thinking about stuff like that, stressors in your life, maybe like you're not happy at your job and stuff like that. Whatever the stresses are, they could be causing you some sort of, that stress can be reflected in your health. So you're going to want to make sure, watch what you eat or, make sure you're eating healthily, not a bunch of junk food, maybe get some exercise in, sex, maybe. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, sex burns calories. Somebody should be doing it. And as it relates to spirituality, then you may need like a break. But, this card sort of even says it on here that it can be about, spiritual growth and just, one's need to figure some things out and maybe go off by themselves. Like the Eight of Water has a feel of walking away from something or someone and like leaving, at least temporarily. So that's what it is. All right. On that note, let's go. Let's get this spread laid. So this is, of course, the general reading and a general spread. We'll see what comes up. Also, I meant to mention that I thought about that Ace of Cups and Seven of Swords again as I was shuffling too. And that can be about like getting away with something or something that maybe should have been shitty. Like it works out. When something that it works in your favor, like a loss turns into a win. And maybe it has to do with leaving a relationship. Maybe that's why I'm still meant to say it. Leaving a relationship or, like I said, a job, some sort of situation or circumstance. But something that wasn't like going your way, turning around and going your way. Crowning the masculine this week. It is the 10 of Water. So we're still doing really, really nice with the cards. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met and you have trustworthy relationships. This is like, even if just like one other person is around you, you're just feeling loved and loving and wanting to, like share love and just feeling like surrounded by it. That, you're not really even thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about those stressors that I mentioned a minute ago, your bills and all that kind of shit. It's just really like happiness, so joy. Surrounding the masculine, the Four of Earth. being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to those less fortunate. This is about like our earthly matters. Especially fours are about our foundations. So like home, family. And again, this is a card of maybe being surrounded by family, maybe a family event, barbecue, something. I don't know. And, you know, it's spring, it's starting to get warm. Some kind of get together, maybe. Maybe something at the house, would it be in the four of earth? Yeah, fours are about our foundations, and the suit of earth or pentacles tends to be about the earthly. Masculine subconscious. The 10 of air. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You may even be recovering from an addiction. So him with this here, in this placement in particular, this could be what's on his mind. But again, this is an energy that is leaving him, and he should look forward to things being better. Crowning the feminine. Major Arcana card 4, the Emperor with Archangel Michael. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership. This card represents for me the planet Mars and the signs that Mars rules. Aries, Scorpio. It is about leadership. It is about control, power, you being empowered and in control of like your own destiny and stuff. Maybe you used to give somebody else the reins, to your life. You had somebody else running you around, pulling strings, drag, like sometimes purse strings, right? They say dragging you around by their purse strings, or them being attached to yours, and you gotta foot the bill for every damn thing. This is you, like putting an end to that and taking control and being a leader, maybe being a boss, maybe starting your own company. Definitely the master of your own destiny. It can also be connected to one's father, or like a boss, an authority figure, maybe separate and apart from the feminine. Sometimes it can represent like government agencies and large corporations too. Feminine surrounded by the Page of Water. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and there are heightened psychic abilities too available. The Page of Water is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So remember, the Emperor is also potentially a Scorpio, maybe an older one, older male Scorpio, somehow significant in the life of the feminine this week, perhaps. Or maybe they're not older and they're just a Scorpio, because Scorpio is a mature sign. I was just talking about my daughter a little while ago with somebody that she's like the mom, she's like the oldest, and that's my baby. She's the youngest in the family, but she's like the most mature, including me. So yeah, it could be like a mature sign person too. Feminine subconscious. The Queen of Water. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. Well, the Queen of Water in the tarot actually does represent the sign of Scorpio. The Queen in the tarot tends to be connected to the fixed sign of a given element. And of course, for the element or suit of water, cups, that would be Scorpio. So this could be something, maybe it's a whole family, like mom, dad, and the kid. Or again, maybe it's a romantic relationship. One is older than the other or more mature. This can be, like I said, like a youthful, not a youthful or younger person, maybe a Piscean, a mutable sign, so that they're youthful in that sense. Let's see what else. Crowning the Nine of Water, which is interesting because I said we're starting with the Nine of Water with the other deck. So this is like our second Nine of Water of the night already. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. You have a love of life. At the root. Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. The Hermit represents the sign of Virgo. And at the heart of the matter, the Queen of Earth, thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. The Queen of Earth is a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And I just saw like a party of three in my head, and I feel like it was the earth sign that was being left, maybe for a water sign. And that's, of course, that's not going to be for everybody, but I just saw like that vision of that in my head. I'm going to quickly go ahead and clarify. I know I didn't really get into any of these, but I want to go and quickly also go ahead and lay some more for clarification, and then I'll just explain them all together. So starting out with another 9 of summer, like I said, now is the time your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. And opening to the Prince of Winter. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make decisions quickly. The Prince of Winter is decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Also a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Whoa! I think some of my bracelets jumped out of the bin. You know, this is like a wooden table, right? So it's not like the table moved or anything. It's pretty solid here. That's interesting. Prince of Winter. And it's another 9 of Winter. We saw one with the other deck when I was shuffling too. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing upon the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. Anything in here should be positive and good, though. I think like just angels trying to get our attention, because I'm surrounded by frankincense oil. I had it burning, I had it sprinkled, all that kind of stuff. Prince of Winter. And another 4 of Autumn. Got one here. Here's one. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. I think that's what I saw here too, like trying to hold on to this family. Maybe the Queen of Earth is like the wife. Yeah, and it's the end of the trouble because it's the end of the situation. Maybe that Saturn retrograde is going to help him to move away from this, whoever this is for, and make a different choice. Like I said, perhaps a water sign instead. And so this would be like the father from here coming over here. 4 of Autumn. The 8 of Winter. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you affirm your freedom. Funny, I'm starting with a card called Freedom with one of my decks today. One more. The 4 of Summer. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. It is Major Arcana card 14, Balance, which is Temperance in the traditional tarot. By merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. So this is like, if it's not about actually finding balance or seeking balance in your life, it can be a healing energy that's restorative, where you felt lack. It helps to like make you whole. This is some of the things that Temperance does. But between two people, it can also be like opposing opinions that find a way to work together. So like, one is, one likes black and one likes white, and we come together and we decide to go with gray instead. That sort of thing. Overall energy is the 5 of Autumn. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career can block, or a funky relationship too, to be honest with you, or any kind of lack. This is just like fear of lack. That can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time to start, something new, including a new business, or maybe to become self-employed, or even, a relationship, until you can lift yourself out of this kind of space. Which to me, it could be like fear of abandonment, fear of commitment, fear of like being broke and stuff, not having enough. Atop the 10 of water, it is major arcana card release. Yes, somebody's letting go of this family that they have. Somebody is leaving. And again, that's not going to be for everybody. But after that vision I saw, and now death or release showing up here on top of the 10 of water, which I said for me was representative of like family and household, especially coupled with the 4 of earth. Somebody's leaving that behind. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. Major arcana card release, again, number 13 represents the sign of Scorpio. It is death in the traditional tarot. Atop that 4 of earth, it's renewal. It's time to get clarity about a life purpose, about your life purpose rather, not a random one, and make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment. So like, even if there was a problem, you guys didn't get along, hasn't worked out, there was pain, there was hurt, you cheated, she cheated, whatever happened. People just weren't nice to each other, or again, it just didn't work out. Just let all that go without, any blame or whatever, an ability to forgive. And that's going to help you to fearlessly embrace what is to come. Major arcana card 20, renewal, is actually judgment in the traditional tarot, which also represents for me the sign of Scorpio and the planet Pluto, which is its other ruler aside from Mars. Judgment as it relates to relationships in general can be about like coming to a crossroad and needing to decide, where do we go from here, if anywhere. Again, some people are walking away, some people are leaving. Some people, maybe they're leaving together, right? They're releasing the past still, and they're changing the dynamic of whatever their situation is and moving to a new one. That can be also. But something old is being left behind, whether it's throw the whole relationship away or throw away, aspects of it. Yeah, that's what it means. But also judgment as it relates to relationships for me can be about a second time around, particularly romantic relationships. Like, let's try this again. And in general, it's about not, placing blame on, or anything, or walking around with guilt feelings, like blaming yourself. And as it relates to abundance and perhaps work, finance, and all that kind of stuff, it is about abundance that is earned. And, that can be the universe giving you some sort of reward too. So it can be about ascension and increased gifts, and or just a blessing that ends up manifesting down here in some kind of way also. Because again, as above, so below, this can be promotion, bonus, new job, new relationship, all that kind of stuff. Some sort of reward of abundance. And then here atop the 4 of earth, which again is about our foundations and the earthly. It could be some material possessions or actual money coming your way, property, something connected to family, home, and or household. Atop the 10 of air and the end of some sort of toxic situation. Again, like a bad relationship, and that person that wants to leave. There's at least one that really wants to get out. But looking forward to something like that, to walking away, is the 8 of spring. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. So this is beautiful because the Eight of Spring or Eight of Wands is about the universe. First of all, eight is the karma number. And the Eight of Wands is about the universe working behind the scenes, to help you, period, to move obstacles out of your way and stuff like that. The Eight of Wands is never a bad card. So it is helping you get to this, new place where you can just expect good things to be coming and no more of this pain and aggravation and backstabbing. Yeah, the Ten of Air, like in the traditional tarot, and the Rider-Waite tarot, the Ten of Air or Swords is this man laying face down with 10 daggers in his back. He was really betrayed. So maybe that's why there's a masculine that wants to get the hell out of here. Again, maybe the wife is a cheater or, a crook, a liar. I don't know. Or it just didn't work, but he wants to go. But yeah, it's betrayal. So, and I've actually been hearing a lot of betrayal songs. The other, over the past couple of days, there's that song Backstabbers. I heard that one. And there's another. They're smiling in your face all the time. They want to take you. Oh, that's the Backstabbers. No, I heard another one. Smiling faces. They don't tell the truth. They lie. And I got proof. I think I heard that one just last night. And I stopped, I paused, because I can tell, when I'm hearing, music like everybody else, I'm just supposed to jam. And when it's a message, I get, nudged, hang on, listen, pay attention. And so that happened. Yeah, so somebody wasn't done right, and they're going to remove themselves from that situation. Atop what may be that masculine, this father figure, divorcee, married man, husband or husband material, what may be him, that with the Emperor atop that is the King of Winter. Intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. The King of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And it's speaking about being, professional and all of that, and needing advice. The King of Winter is often like a judge, a lawyer, a doctor. So it could be somebody who is helping him through this situation or a situation, because again, not everybody has that same one, but there's something, it would seem, for all the masculine that they want to move away from and transition out of, some sort of energy that they want to transition out of into a new one. So this King of Water can potentially help them all with that, as well as, of course, helping the feminine. And this may be the masculine's energy, this may be the feminine's energy. Combine this King and this Emperor together. Atop the Page of Water is another Ten of Winter. The end of a career path, project, or relationship brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So just like the masculine, some of the feminine may have been betrayed, or we may have a toxic relationship to get out of. We may be overcoming an addiction, maybe even some sort of substance abuse or something. We may be getting beyond that. Maybe we need an expert in that regard. Maybe we need to go to rehab or talk to somebody, a psychotherapist or something, a counselor, a minister, or somebody, a pastor like myself, spiritual counselor. I am a licensed and ordained minister, and I do spiritual counseling. So that's why I thought of that, not just to put a pitch in. I'm legit. But if somebody like me, not necessarily me, but somebody like that you can genuinely talk to and have an expectation of not only privacy, but support and expertise in that kind of area and sensitivity in handling people's personal problems. Atop the Queen of Water, the Two of Winter. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. So the Two of Water is a kind of a card of non-action. It's like, maybe if I don't open my mail, I won't have to pay the bill. maybe it'll go away. It's that sort of energy. Obviously, it doesn't go away, and some stuff eventually, if you ignore it long enough, it no longer matters. So there could be that hope, but typically we have to address these things eventually, ultimately. Atop the 9 of water and the dreams coming true, wish coming true, it's another Queen of Summer, another Queen of Cups. There's one here under this 2 of Winter. Compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic is the Queen of Summer. This is the time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So Queen of Water coming through with the 9 of Cups, and wishes, coming true, prayers being answered. So this can either be for a Queen of Water that you've been praying, whether it's male, female, masculine, or feminine, that's represented by this Queen of Summer or Cups, Water. Or it can be, love, emotion, healing, happiness for what you've been praying. And that's coming through in this form. Again, the Queen of Water is a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Atop the Hermit is the Chariot. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition that you're receiving. The Chariot is another 7, first of all, but it's a card of victory, accomplishment, triumph over sometimes some past difficulties. And it crosses this 10 of Swords, and it sits next to a 10 of Swords, the masculines. So like getting beyond those difficulties, like I win and nothing can stop me now because look at this, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm faster than you. I'm better than you. It's like the $6 million man, built bigger, better, stronger, faster. It can also be about actual travel, planes, trains, automobiles. Maybe this couple traveling to see each other again, to visit at the house. Again, family coming to stay, coming to visit, getting together. It can be about moving away. I'm moving out. I need to get the fuck out of here. We're done. Could definitely be about that, especially with the horses facing this way. And again, sitting next to the toxic situations and or relationships, needing to exit them. Major Arcana card, the Chariot, represents the sign of Cancer. And so when I felt before that maybe it was something going on here with maybe a party of 3 or just a bad relationship involving an earth sign and a water sign, maybe that water sign is specifically a Cancer or a Scorpio, because there's a lot of Scorpio energy here too. And then Pisces in that order, or maybe Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces in that order. And the earth sign may most likely be a Virgo, more so than Capricorn or Taurus, but I would say Capricorn next and then Taurus last in that order. At the heart of the matter, atop the Queen of Earth, which may be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, is the 9 of Winter. It's where that worry is. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing upon the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. Somebody could be having financial worries, woes. Again, maybe because you had some hard times, 10 of Winter, you struggled before. And so that's why you don't necessarily have an expectation, but you're manifesting anything that's potentially bad. That's not what's really here. That's in your mind, is negative. Again, sitting here is abundance that's earned, and in a strong way, because it's not like just the 3 of Earth, which similarly means abundance that's earned for me. This is Major Arcana card Judgment, so the Major Arcana, of course, also has a lot more oomph, power, strength, energy to the cards, and it's that much more that you can count on it, that's going to come through. Again, the Chariot, also a card of victory, shared between the two, and this 10 of Winter sitting here atop the Page of Water or Cups means that, some news that comes your way makes you happy, not sad. So again, there's no need for the 9 of Winter. in working together, all of these cards, like I want to go back to the foundation. So the Chariot and the Hermit can be about like knowing how to handle a roadblock, an obstacle that's in front of you. It might be a literal roadblock, like something that gets in the way when you're physically driving, because this can be about transportation, modes of transportation, cars, planes, trains, automobiles, I used to like to say. Travel. So it can be literal. Well, something can get in the way and you know how to get around it. But, in regular life, things that pop up, like you don't know how to handle it. And that's also what another thing that I'm getting with the Emperor and the King of Winter, or the King of Swords, is like the Emperor does the research and, the officiality part of something, maybe looking into it and figuring out what's really happening. And then the King of Winter is the one who makes the decision. He's decisive, he's diplomatic, he's fair. So he's the one who makes the decision on like how to resolve whatever the issue is, what we're going to do to implement it. And that's sort of like with this, what I'm getting from the Queen of Water with the Two of Winter or Swords too. So, sitting here as the foundation or the feminine subconscious underneath this King of Swords and Emperor, and sitting here next to the Chariot and the Hermit, I'm also getting from her to like be like George Bush used to say, that he used to call himself the decider. And that's how she's coming through, the Queen of Water. Like she knows how to keep. This card, it says like you're worried about what other people think, worried about what other people want you to do. And together, the two of them, and looking at the other cards too, are coming through like, she knows how to handle the situation without letting other people get in the way. So she's going to know how to ignore these other people's, thoughts. She's going to stop with the procrastinating. Or it's like also maybe now that I'm aware of something, like now that I'm aware of the betrayal, maybe committed by a Pisces or other water out of something, betrayal, backstabbing, or some sort of trouble, maybe again substance abuse or something. Now that I'm aware, we can nip it in the bud, and there'll be no further harm. That's another possibility. Knowing how to remove a roadblock. I'm not going to let that happen. Like, not on my watch, sort of thing. You may be the one who prevents something from happening, maybe prevents somebody from getting into some sort of trouble, maybe with the DMV, with the Emperor and the Chariot, or getting in trouble somehow, somewhere you prevent it. The feminine knows how to prevent it, how to stop it. I thought I was getting something else or seeing something else. There's fear here at the heart of the matter with the Queen. Maybe fear that you're going to have like a situation, again, to handle with maybe a large corporation or a government entity or a boss, a sort of authority, father figure, maybe your own father. The feminine knows how to get out of whatever this is. She's going to be able to figure it out by using these kind of energies, or having somebody or a couple somebodies in her corner that are significant. Again, the Emperor energy being the one to figure out what's happening, and the King of Winter being the one to actually resolve it. But one way that you can avoid problems is, again, by watching your thoughts and the words that you speak over your life. That this Nine of Winter is very much an energy of our own design. Advice from the angels, from the angel therapy cards, beginning again with Twin Flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship, which might be why some people are flustered and worried too. Here, And be willing to forgive. If you're willing to forgive, you can work things out. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Twin flame. You're a powerful light worker. It's safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings great blessings in loving service to the divine. Light worker. And crown chakra, which is all what this is about. Again, this is like staying in your head, overanalyzing, being paranoid, lacking sleep because you're worried about something. So that's all crown chakra stuff. Pay attention to your ideas as they're messages of true divine guidance sent in answer to your prayers. Yes, but also pay attention to your thoughts in the sense that you got to make sure that you keep them positive rather than sink into this. Crown chakra, and one more. It is workshops and seminars. Attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning, which is very hermit, right? Helping others to come into enlightenment and helping yourself to come into enlightenment and clarity. Sometimes you're both the teacher and the student when the hermit comes up because you're teaching yourself about you. Crown chakra. Oh, goodness. Clear yourself. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. Maybe from one of these 10 of winters. Overall energy is Archangel Raphael. The healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. And lastly, from my life purpose cards, again, begin with freedom. You are free to do what you choose. Right, not listen to what other people have to say. Flowers. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. Flowers. Oracle cards. You're able to discern answers and guidance for yourself and others. Flowers. And body work. Your life purpose involves body work such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, and exercise training. Lastly, music. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. I just want to point out that I mentioned exercise training earlier, so that could really be significant for somebody this week. When I was talking about, was it the Four of Earth? No, the Eight of Cups. And I was talking about the stress that somebody may be feeling. And a way to get over that is through exercise training. So that's the second time that's come up. Anyway, coming to practice. Polish your skills and practice regularly. Overall energy is strength. Everything that you've experienced in life has made you strong and courageous. So this does have like an energy of Major Arcana card strength, which represents the sign of Leo in the tarot. Further advice to the masculine from the life purpose angels. Body work. Your life purpose involves body work such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, and exercise training. So you may be the one that's going through some stress, masculine. Maybe you need to get out there and get to the gym, renew your membership. Maybe you need some energy healing. Some of you, I know for a fact, have been seeking it and have had some purchased on your behalf because some of it was bought from me. Maybe people are going to others also. Massage therapy is another mechanism for this, as is I'm also kind of partial to acupuncture. I enjoy it. Feminine. Freedom. Amen. You're free to do what you choose. Was this our card or what? Right. You're free to do what you choose. From the angel therapy cards to the masculine, listen to your intuitive feelings. Your body's receiving accurate messages from the divine. feminine. Singing and dancing. Express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. So this is another instance or indication rather of messages and syncs and things coming in music. Speaking of strength and Leo, masculine, further advice, the Queen of Fire, confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. The Queen of Fire is the quintessential divine feminine of the tarot. But aside from that, she's also this very powerful and confident, just sort of radiant being that, you know, she goes after what she wants and she does what she wants, what's going to, you know, help make her happy, fulfill her passions. And so that's what you're guided to do also. And it may have to do with an actual person, perhaps a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, as the court cards tend to represent actual people. If not ourselves, somebody else who is significant in a given period. Feminine, for us, the Dreamer with Archangel Metatron, which is Major Arcana card 0, the Fool in the traditional tarot. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. Again, for me, the Dreamer in this deck, or the Fool in this deck, represents the planet Mercury and the signs of Gemini and Virgo, which it rules. And speaking of Gemini, again, masculine, and I know the 6 of winter, the challenging times, right? The 10 of winter, the 9 of winter, coming to an end. And you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past. Let go. And embrace a happier time ahead. Also, you may be traveling or moving. If it's not literal physical movement or travel, it will be figurative, metaphorical movement, travel forward to better days. And lastly, feminine for us, same thing. Not only better days, but a fresh start. The Ace of Spring, a wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekly general reading. Again, thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll be back soon with the love reading. Namaste.